Made this stained glass coffin incense tray, and unfortunately it is rotting. I make these incense trays. This one is my coffin shape in the iridescent clear glass with the foxglove. This is like etched onto the surface of the mirror, this flower. And it has a little tube at the end so you can put your incense stick in there and then like it's an incense tray. But when you work with mirror and stained glass, you can get something called mirror rot, which is what has happened here. It's not like mold. That's just what it's called. But what happens is the flux, which is a chemical that you use to help the solder run really smoothly, it helps it adhere. It just like makes your life a lot easier when you're soldering. If the flux comes in contact with the backing on your mirror, it can dissolve it. So that's what's happened here. You can see a little spot here. Well, it's pretty big actually, but there's a spot there. There's some flecks up here where it's gone on. One starting over here. It sets on pretty quick. So I made a few of these at the time. 2 of them were to fill orders. And then this one was just an extra. I just wanted to try, this is a new mirror that I hadn't worked with yet. And I wanted to be able to photograph with this clear iridescent glass on the sides, which was a listing option that I had, but I didn't have any photographed examples of it. And it's rotting. Usually it shows up within like 24 to 48 hours. So I make these about a week before they ship, and then I let them sit for a week. And if after a week there's no mirror rot, like it's a pretty safe bet that it's fine. I finished this in the evening, and then the next morning I woke up and it had some mirror rot spots, which you can prevent. I seal my mirrors 3 different ways before I work with them to help prevent that. But just bad luck. There was either some holes in the sealant, or maybe it's down to the type of mirror that I used. I thrift most of my mirrors. I salvage or thrift them. I will go to the thrift store and look for mirrors that are broken or that have frames that are broken or extremely dated, because they're less likely to be purchased and used by somebody. And this was a different kind of mirror I hadn't worked with yet, and it might just be down to that. It might just be bad luck. That's what mirror rot is. And there's no way to stop it once it starts. I might just keep an eye on it for a few weeks and see where it stops, and then list it as is for cheaper. This would be a like non-refundable, no returns item, like sold as is. And it's a coffin. So like maybe the rot, like grunge sort of rot thing works for someone. And it's also an incense tray. It's going to get covered in ash. So like, you know, someone probably wouldn't mind. So I might list it anyway, but unfortunately it is rotting. If somebody were to buy a mirror piece that were rotting later, which can happen, like it's really uncommon. Usually it shows up really fast. But if someone were to buy one and then like later on it were decaying like this, I would like ignore the return window and make it right. That just feels good to me as a human person. But yeah, that's an example of rotten luck. What can you do? Rats.